Hey guys, I get a lot of comments from people saying that they would love to try intermittent fasting, but it just doesn't work for them for X, Y, and Z reasons. And I have just honestly gotten really tired of typing over and over, well, you have A, B, and C other options to do intermittent fasting. So I'm gonna make a video about it so that if anyone else comments that, I can just send them to this video. So I don't have to keep typing it out every single time. This is just gonna be a nice, short, quick, snappy video on the different ways to do intermittent fasting. Before we get into this video, please do give it a thumbs up if you are considering trying intermittent fasting or do intermittent fasting, or I don't know why you'd be watching this video if neither of those applied to you, but if they don't, I'd appreciate the thumbs up anyway. Go ahead and follow my Instagram and my Twitter because I drop some knowledge bombs over there occasionally. Subscribe to see more videos like this and others. And without further ado, different kinds of fasting. The most common kind that you see everyone doing, especially on YouTube, I am guilty of this as well, is the 16-8 split. This is also known as the Leangains protocol, so if you see that anywhere, just know that they're the same thing. So this is where you fast for 16 hours every day and then you eat all your required calories in an 8-hour window. So for example, you might start eating every day at noon and then you would stop eating at 8 p.m. and just do that thing every day. And I think this method is the most popular because it's kind of the easiest in terms of scheduling and in terms of willpower. So, you know, the 8-hour chunks fit nicely into a day that's 24 hours long. Most people's work schedule are 8 hours, so you know, you can kind of work it in there in a nice way. And 16 hours isn't that long to fast, so it doesn't really take that much focus or willpower. And if you're one of those people with a daily routine where you kind of have the same schedule every day, it becomes really easy to just fit it in and not have to think about it. There is a ton of research that's been done on the benefits of fasting, but a lot of it has been done on longer fasts, so like more than 24 hours, and also on overweight people who are inactive. So I'm going to link a study down below that actually specifically studies the 16-8 split on fit people, and it actually shows that maintaining the 16-8 split intermittent fasting method thing shows improvement in certain health-related biomarkers, fat loss, maintenance of muscle mass, and some other cool things. So things are looking pretty good for the 16-8 split. To be fair, that study was done on only men because of course men are the default for some reason, so it's not 100% accurate to extrapolate it out to women because our bodies function a little differently. Hopefully in the future there'll be a little bit more research done on women because we have different things going on in our bodies. But I'll still link it down below because it's still an interesting read. A different option for intermittent fasting if the 16-8 split doesn't work for you, as it's starting to not really work for me, is to do regular prolonged fasts. So like a 24-hour fast every 2 weeks, or a 48-hour fast like once a month, or even just doing a 3-day fast just a couple times a year. Now this might sound absolutely crazy to some people, and to a lot of people this might sound like disordered eating, and it definitely can feed into that if you are prone to disordered eating. So I highly recommend not doing any kind of fasting if you are prone to disordered eating. Just gonna throw that out there. But for those of you with a healthy relationship with food and with your body, this is something that can give you enormous health benefits. The research is showing that there are so many health benefits that you can get from a prolonged fast that start to come about after about 2 days, and for some people closer to 3 days. One of the biggest and, in my opinion, coolest benefits of long-term fast is that it essentially regenerates your immune system. And I did just talk about this in a previous video, but I'm gonna say it again for those of you who didn't watch it. When you're fasting, your body looks for nourishment in any way that it can find it, and one of these places that it finds nourishment is in your fat cells, but it can also find it in damaged, malfunctioning cells in your body. So fasting essentially speeds up the process of autophagy, which is the death of cells that are old and not working well anymore, and they end up getting replaced with new cells. And research on fasting has shown that this process particularly affects the immune system. So if you fast for 3 days, you could come out with a repaired / new immune system, essentially. I will link some more studies down below that talk about the health benefits of long-term fasting. Another disclaimer though, I highly recommend not fasting for more than 3 days without medical supervision, and if you want to fast longer than 24 hours, I also recommend talking to your doctor first, because if you're on medications or have any other underlying condition, that could seriously complicate things. So don't just listen to me talk about the benefits of it without thinking about the potential consequences for your body. With that being said, if the 16-8 split doesn't fit into your schedule, a 24-hour fast every other weekend might be a lot easier for you to accomplish. Another alternative is the warrior diet, and this is where you start your day out fasted and gradually build up to more and more solid foods until you hit your 4-hour eating window, and that's where you consume the majority of your calories. It theoretically is supposed to be one big meal, but I think the 4-hour window is kind of necessary, because if you're trying to eat 2,000 calories, I know I, at least, would really struggle to just sit down and just go through 2,000 calories in a short span of time. I would probably just explode. So essentially with this method of eating, you can start your day with like water and tea and then work your way up to like a green juice, and then maybe later have some berries and yogurt, and then at the end of the day you have your large dense cooked meal. And everything in this diet is supposed to be roughly paleo based, and the theory behind this whole eating pattern is that it's more similar to how we ate when we were evolving as humans. There's also some interesting food combination restrictions in this diet, like you're not supposed to combine nuts and sugar, including sugar from fruit, and you're not supposed to combine grains and sugar or alcohol and starch. So, you know, it's a little bit restrictive, kind of. Now, this diet doesn't necessarily count as fasting, because while you're working your way up to your bigger meal, something like berries and yogurt would technically break your fast, but it does kind of depend on when you choose to start working up to that. So, you know, if you fasted for 16 hours before, slowly working up to your 4-hour eating window, then that's still intermittent fasting. So it kind of depends on how you want to work it into your life. But yeah, that's the warrior diet. And the last method that I want to talk about is essentially a bunch of different methods that all just boil down to what is caloric undulation. There's the 5-2 diet, where you eat in a slight caloric surplus 5 days out of the week, and then an extreme deficit, so like you eat 500 to 600 calories 2 days out of the week. There's the 4-3 diet, where you essentially do the same thing, just different numbers of days of the week. And there are a lot of other methods similar to this, and while they might not all technically be intermittent fasting, because it's again going to depend on when you choose to have your calories, you could easily combine the 16-8 with the 5-2 and like make sure you're getting a 16-hour fast in there, but it's not necessarily fasting. But there are a ton of health benefits that come with this pattern of eating. If you think about it, there's absolutely no way that our ancestors all ate the same number of calories every single day, so why should we? Our bodies adapt to things insanely quickly, so changing up your daily caloric intake can really help stall a plateau. When you go back and forth between highs and lows, it sensitizes your body much more to those changes. This is the same theory behind having a cheat meal once a week, or behind carb cycling or protein cycling. With these kinds of diets, you do want to be making sure that your average daily caloric surplus or deficit is where you want it to be, because it can be really easy to accidentally undereat and either like lose your gains or slow down your metabolism because you're really not eating enough. So before you dive into it, do the math. So those are some of the most common kinds of intermittent fasting. So if you have been wanting to kick off the new year with some fasting but couldn't find something that works for you, hopefully one of these does. And that's all I got for you. I wanted to keep this video short and simple because I just get asked this question a lot, and I just wanted a reference for people who are looking for this answer. I will leave links down in the description with info and studies if you want to read more about these different kinds of fasting. And if you do have any questions, please leave them down in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. And if there's anything that you do want me to go into more detail about and do like a deeper dive, let me know. And I will try to get around to making that video if you want such a video. But yeah, in the meantime, if you liked this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. Please share it with all of your fasting loving friends, or any of your friends that you think might want to join you on your intermittent fasting journey. Please do be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see ya very soon. Bye!